right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I think that intro somehow got more epic since the last season.
Man, it definitely did.
Here we are at the GSL Code S. I am Moltrap coming at you from the Mokdong studio in Seoul, Korea. With me here is Wolf. How are you doing today, Wolf?
I'm doing great, man. That intro song is pretty awesome. I like how they had the Ready to Rock, Ready to Roar.
Yeah,
you know,
man.
That original GSL
I was like
song
pumped
there
up.
for a
I'm like,
second.
yeah, let's
Yeah,
go.
man.
I want to blow
awesome.
up a spaceship.
I love that intro. And then we had the music that was playing when we came to the studio. It sounded like it was a Jaws movie or something. You're not really sure who's going to pop out. And then we popped out.
That's what.
We're not that scary.
We're
though.
pretty much Jaws.
You've got a shark fin hairstyle.
We've got our spiked hair. Yeah, exactly. I didn't even realize that Tiara was like putting together a collection of people that were dancing their videos. That's pretty cool. You guys should all, after the GSL broadcast tonight, even if it's like 5 in the morning for you, you should go watch the Tiara video over and over again until you get the dance moves down, and then record yourself and put it on YouTube.
Yeah, you should do that. You should tweet it at us at ProxyWolf.
That's right.
Also tweet at GomTV.
I actually don't know what Tiara's Twitter is.
I don't know if they have one, but they probably do. I'm sure they do. Most Korean groups do have Twitters, and even actually usually the individual members do as well. And they're all verified, so there's no fakes out there.
They're all verified, and they're all probably run by people who are doing their PR for them. Just between you and me.
That's why I'm not verified. Is because no one's doing my PR. Twitter's not sure if I'm going to say something that's like a little bit risque or something. They're like, I don't know.
I don't know. I am at Moltrap. This is at ProxyWolf if you do want to add us on Twitter.
And also, remember, guys, there's a new poll on gomtv.net, so you can try to pick who you think is going to win. It's a cool little feature that GomTV has now added to their website. So get on there and vote so that you can kind of see what other people are thinking about who's going to win, see who the fan favorite really is.
Yeah, and you want to go on there before the event starts. So I think voting is now closed since like the event has started, because that would be a little bit silly if you could vote for who you think is going to win like after they won. You'd be like, yes, I was right.
Yeah, well, there's a little bit of time left, but not very much. It may be closed.
Okay.
I mean, it may be closed, but there's a little bit of time before matches start. Our players are ready, man. They're standing over here. They're getting pumped.
Anyway, but yeah, just go on like while you're watching the K-pop 10 minutes before the show starts. You can go on to gomtv.net, click on the live button, and it's the same button you click to get to the screen where it gives you the options for the live streams, and there's a little poll on the side. So
yeah,
it's pretty fun actually to see what people
really cool.
think. Like, we've been doing that for, like, the AOL tournament, the Team Ace Invitational. It's fun. Speaking of which,
the Team Ace Invitational round of 8 is going to be on Thursday. Be sure to tune into that every Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday for 2 weeks. So I guess this will be the last time. It's on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. But we've got a full weekend of Team Ace Invitational, so be sure to tune into that.
It's actually been really, really good.
It's been a sick tournament.
Have been really sick, and we're going to have some really cool players playing against each other in the round of 8 as well.
Yeah, I really like the players the teams have chosen. We kind of get a lot of variety in races and players and different matchups. It's really been an awesome tournament.
One of whom, for instance, like this transition, is DongRaeGu, who's going to be playing in our first match.
Yes, he is,
and that's going to be exciting. DongRaeGu is such a powerful player. Actually, all the players today are actually really, really good. Gumiho is just been really impressing me lately.
Absolutely, man. Gumiho is so scary.
Like, Happy just did somehow, like everyone was like, Happy? Who's Happy? And then he, like, got to, like, the round of 8 of Code S last season. And then, of course, Startail Bomber is going to round out this first group. And he probably doesn't need much of an introduction. He hasn't been doing as well, like, in the last, like, month, but he is still so good. Like, I was thinking, like, man, he hasn't been doing that well lately. And then I looked up his games. Recently, he's actually been still winning most of his games.
Yeah.
It's
just he hasn't been, like,
he's not
as
winning,
good as MVP, for example.
Exactly. Like, he's not winning 80% of his games anymore. He's only winning, like, 65 for, like, we're like, man, he's in a slump.
Yeah, he is still doing extremely well. He's playing fairly consistently. He's just not at the level he was before, you know, so he's got some catching back up with his old self to do.
Yeah, and in fact, he actually got eliminated. He actually got stomped in his AOL group, his Team Ace Invitational group. Yeah. So that was kind of one of the things where I was like, oh, whoa, is he, like, not doing as well right now? So, but could have just had a bad day on that. We're going to find out today if he is going to bring his S game and show us how dominant he can be.
I like what you did there with the S game.
Yep.
He's not going to bring his A game. He's not going to bring his B game.
He's got to bring his S game, man, because this is the Code S round of 32. Remember, the format of the GSL has changed. So if you are 4th place in your group, you actually go to the first round of Code A, where you can actually be eliminated altogether in the course of 2 matches. So a lot more on the line. If you get 3rd place, here we go. This is the results that kind of demonstrate what happens in the Group H, the last group. MVP took 1st place, he advances. Alive took 2nd place, he advances. Marine King took 3rd, so he actually will go to Code A to the 2nd round.
Yeah.
And because Curious got 0-2'd, he's actually going straight to the first round of Code A. Although didn't he already play his matches for Code A, or is that, I don't remember if he did that or not. Maybe I'm thinking of his AOL matches.
Curious has been playing a lot
Curious is
recently.
like everything.
Yeah.
He's in everything, man.
Well, yeah, so basically, guys, the round of 48 is the new first round of Code A. It's the Danger Days, if you will. It's on Mondays. And if you lose in the round of 48, you're out. So it's a pretty important match. So Marine King, for example, is now no longer going to have that fear of falling all the way out of the GSL after losing. And he also has the opportunity to get back into Code S without having to wait for a new season.
That's true, yep.
We're going to take a look at our players here.
They're standing over.
Those
to our
aren't
left.
them, but look at that. 3
No,
Terrans
but here they go. These nerds have been standing here waiting. Now they're going to be going out to their battle booths to do epic battle against each other to the death. DongRaeGu is going to be facing off against Happy in the first game. Both these players so strong right now. I'm really looking forward to seeing what happens there. Giving each other a handshake, but you know on the inside, we're ready to rip each other's throats out.
And there's Gumiho.
Not really.
And Bomber. Yep. Shaking each other's hands. 2 Terran players are about to try to rip each other's E-throats out.
That's right. They're going for the E-throat. Careful.
Gotta watch out. Hydralisk and a Marine, they're not friends.
And Caldor's just stepped in the building as well. He's going to be watching the games with us.
Caldor came down to watch. If you guys are in Mokdong or in Seoul at all, you should be here too. I don't know why you're not.
Yeah, and unfortunately though, if you were planning on coming down here this weekend for the Arena of Legends, we actually don't have an audience for
Yeah,
the
there's
Arena
no
of Legends,
there's no broadcast for the Arena of Legends that's watchable for spectators. You have to watch online.
Sorry to the folks that didn't know that. Like, we didn't really make that too known.
Yeah,
and
I'm
so
sorry we didn't quite
A couple
make that
people
clear.
like came down and like wandered into the studio we were casting the other day, and we had to like be like, sorry.
Well, here is Happy. As you can see, his ranking is 33rd in the Code S. He's not, he hasn't been around for very long, so of course he hasn't accumulated that many points. I like the IM jersey. IM jersey's kind of been evolving over time, and it's just always better and better each time. And look at this, DongRaeGu, the final boss, he's known as, because he always comes out last in the team league.
Yeah.
His win rate versus Terran, 75%. And he's called the Terran Killer here in Korea, actually, for that reason.
Yeah, this is actually going to be an amazing match because DongRaeGu doesn't lose to Terrans, and Happy doesn't lose to Zergs.
Except he has recently lost to DongRaeGu.
Exactly. I was going to mention that. They did meet in the team league, and DongRaeGu did win that match. But Happy is actually 10-2. 10-2.
And if I remember correctly,
versus Terrans.
When Happy played against DongRaeGu, that was quite some time ago, and Happy I think has been improving a lot since then.
Yeah.
So the Happy we saw play against DongRaeGu before is not the Happy we're going to see here today.
Yeah. Exactly. So really curious to see how this is going to go. Now DongRaeGu, he was known as being undefeatable in versus Terran, but then like recently he's shown a little bit of vulnerability. Last season, for instance, he actually got eliminated by Supernova, who is a Terran player. Although Supernova is actually like winning everything right now, so he might be stronger than we know. But he was eliminated by a Terran last season, so he's shown a little bit of vulnerability to really strong Terrans, despite the fact that he was basically undefeatable in versus Terran before. So
very true.
We're gonna find out on Dual Sight.
Yeah, Dual Sight is our first map. A map that doesn't really lend itself towards DongRaeGu's style too much. DongRaeGu likes to play for the late game a lot of the time, and this is a smaller map, aren't as many bases on it. Can I Am Happy defeat the Terran Killer MVP DongRaeGu and pull out a win? That is the match point here on Dual Sight.
That's right.
The map is loading.
We're going to get started here in just a moment. This game is going to be epic. Go tell your mom to tune in, tell your brother to tune in, tell your grandma that there's going to be an epic Terran versus Zerg happening in just moments here at the GSL Code S. Don't go anywhere. We're going to be back in one brief moment to find out who's going to win. right, and here he is over at the right-hand side of the map. Our Terran player who virtually never loses to Zergs. He is.
I am happy.
Oh, did you see that zoom in? That was awesome.
That was pretty cool,
That
man.
was Gosu. There he is. Very strong, sort of up-and-comer still. And here is his Zerg opponent who is virtually undefeatable versus Terran.
MVP DongRaeGu.
That was kind of creepy the way she said that.
Well, the way she said it, it reminded me of Regu tomato sauce.
What?
I don't know.
When like a creepy Zerg woman pronounces DongRaeGu, it makes you think of spaghetti?
I don't know. She wants the special DongRaeGu sauce, man. She's gonna make that kind of spaghetti tonight.
I guess so.
She's like, bring me the DongRaeGu.
Yes, well, I guess I wouldn't, if like a Zerg queen came on the scene, I wouldn't put it past her to just infest some of the strong StarCraft players, make them part of the swarm. And Happy is going to go ahead and hide his barracks on the low ground.
First barracks behind his natural.
So he's basically going to like hope to trick DongRaeGu into thinking, oh crap, it's a proxy 2 racks when he doesn't see it in his base.
Or potentially, if he goes in at a certain time, he might make him think that it's a command center first, but in this case, it's not going to be that quick with a scout.
But DongRaeGu doesn't care. He's just going to hatch first.
Yeah,
Although he is drone scouting, actually.
Yeah, he drone scouted, and he is going to get in here. And if he counts the SCVs, be able to tell, oh, there should have been a command center already. This doesn't make sense. There's got to be a barracks somewhere.
Actually, he's saving up for the command center. But you're right.
Yeah, it's not a command center first.
But he doesn't actually know because he didn't see the command center. So he doesn't know if it's a proxy 2 racks or
The only way
like
he could possibly know if it's 2 barracks or not is if he counted each and every SCV and he knows exactly how many SCVs are there. And I mean, as good as DongRaeGu is, I think at this point he's not 100% sure what's going on.
No, that's still extremely difficult to know your opponent's timings that well, and I don't think that would even be that much of an indication. It's hard to count because you can't actually select. You can group select your own units to see how many like drones you have on your minerals.
Very true.
But you can't group select your opponent's units.
Counting your opponent's SCV is like counting the stars in the sky. You just can't do it. Except if you had that many SCVs right now, then I don't know if this game would go on for very long.
You'd be maxed out, man. The sky is maxed out with stars, that's for sure.
That's true. Well, the hatchery does finish. DongRaeGu pulled a few drones here to ward off Happy's pressure. Happy's just going to go home without doing anything, not committing at all, just sending his SCV scout home with his Marine.
Yeah, and I like DongRaeGu not overreacting to that. He was like, nah, you're not doing anything.
There's really almost no disadvantage to what Happy has done with building his barracks on the low ground, man. It basically kept DongRaeGu in the dark, made his barracks, or rather his command center very safely at 1 barracks expand, and DongRaeGu just kind of had to play super safe. He wasn't really sure what was going on.
Yep.
But like you said, he did not overreact. He only made 4 Zerglings.
He only pulled like 2 or 3 drones off to hunt for a bunker, so nothing really lost for DongRaeGu. And
gas.
Zergling's going to scout around.
The gas pulled all the drones out of the gas and put 1 back in, so he's still mining from his gas with just 1 as he gets his Zergling speed.
I like that move.
I like that move too. It was like a brief moment of indecisiveness. He's like 1 or 0.
Well,
like 1.
Especially if you don't know what your opponent's up to yet, it's a really good idea to have a little bit of gas in the bank because you never know if there's going to be that moment where you're like, oh crap, I need a baneling nest yesterday.
Yeah.
And if you don't have any gas at that point, then it takes a while to get that 50 gas for the baneling nest, so it's a good thing to have a little gas just as a precaution. Well,
Happy is making 2 factories in his main base, and well, speaking of scouting, this SCV is going to see not a whole lot, but in the main base of Happy, the Overlord sees both of the factories, will be taken out shortly afterwards. So most likely we're going to see some pretty heavy Hellion play here.
Yeah. And was that it's a reactor, and he's making a tech lab on that barracks?
Making a reactor on the barracks. It could be the double reactor
Hellions.
Yeah, double reactor Hellion pressure.
Wow.
Which is almost an all-in, really. It's so hard to pull this off in transition if you do not do a ton of damage.
Yeah, especially if it gets scouted. All DongRaeGu needs to do is get a Roach Warren down, and he can deal with it very easily.
DongRaeGu is smartly making a macro hatchery right now, which is kind of a nice catch-all to get. He's making it at the bottom of his ramp so it can help wall off as well. He's also getting a spine crawler, and there's the Roach Warren that you were mentioning going down as well. And basically everything he's doing is going to prepare him for what's going on, and his armory is going down as these Hellions harass.
And 1 drone kill, 2, 3 drone kills.
Just 2 kills.
2 kills?
There.
Okay.
Almost a third.
Almost a third. So not too much damage done by those initial Hellions. He's going to be pumping out tons of Hellions. And this is
+1 Hellions on the way as well. He's getting +1 with that
wow.
armory. So super fast armory. And now making a tech lab on his barracks as he starts a 3rd factory. So we are going to see some super heavy mech play out of Happy here.
Huh.
He's going to want to hide these Hellions, keep them from DongRaeGu, and push out an attack. DongRaeGu, though, is making 7 roaches right now.
Yeah, he's reacting perfectly. But it's a little strange because it's like, well, Happy knows he's been scouted, but then DongRaeGu doesn't. Okay, now he's revealed, actually.
Yeah,
There's tons of Hellions coming, so and he's going to be fine. He's going to have 7 roaches pop out at the same moment the Hellions arrive.
Yeah, he's also got a really nice wall. He's got a spine crawler as well. He can just put his roaches.
There's the roaches.
Gonna micro those Hellions against the roaches. Pick off some speedlings here. Yeah, 4 more Hellions being pumped out at a time. 3rd factory is finished for Happy. He may research Blue Flame immediately there, and that's exactly what he's doing. He starts Blue Flame immediately with that tech lab he's prepared for that factory. So he's gonna have +1 Blue Flame Hellions pretty soon, man.
That is actually really cool. But oh no, the roaches get trapped and surrounded by the Hellions. It's a Hellion wall, and they cannot escape, and they're all getting splash damage by all those Hellion lines. Beautiful, beautiful play. That many Hellions should not kill that many roaches, but they did anyway.
Yeah, really nice positioning by Happy. He's actually going to be able to take out these roaches as well. I'd like to see a little bit more micro from Happy. Pulling back the weakened Hellions would have been nice to see. He's actually just going to let the roaches do their thing. He just has so many Hellions.
Yeah, he's just got tons of them.
We're finding out here that roaches may not be the counter to Hellions. Thor on the way, actually, for Happy right now.
Now, this is a really interesting thing that we've kind of talked about before, and it looks like he's going to have a timing at about this point. +1 Blue Flame Hellions will kill workers in 2 shots.
Yeah, just like before
Just like
patch.
before patch 1.4. So he could do some major economic damage if he gets past the lines here. Blue Flame is moments from completing. He has not revealed it yet. He's going to kill these couple roaches and then go in and absolutely annihilate the economy. Blue Flame is...
Well...
done. Almost done. There it goes.
Almost done. Jet's finished. +1 is finished as well. He's also got +2 on the way. And remember, there are Thors back at home being made. And it looks like Happy's just going to pull back. Now, he may have missed this particular timing to do as much damage as he wanted to. But with 2 Thors being made at a time back at home, he's already got 1 Thor out. He's going to have another timing where he could push with +2 and a bunch of Thors and Hellions and actually kill DongRaeGu if DongRaeGu is not prepared for that. He's getting his lair right now, a pretty late lair for what he's up against.
Now the thing is, it looks like DongRaeGu is really losing out on these battles, but remember he's killing 4 or 5 roaches at a time, but he's losing 3 or 4 Hellions also, so it's not like DongRaeGu is really falling that far behind because he is doing some damage. Roaches are just so cost effective against Hellions. The only reason they're losing is because they're so outnumbered, but he's not as far behind as it looks like he is, basically, is what I'm getting at.
Well, DongRaeGu is going to be behind in upgrades. That's actually going to be the key here. He's just halfway done with +1 missile weapons right now for his roaches. He does not have roach speed even started yet. He's making 14 drones right now. Let me tell you guys the word count. Despite the fact that Happy has a 3rd command star, but 72 to 61. So he's got a pretty good drone lead. He's about to be 14 ahead of what I just said because he's had 14 just pop out at this moment. But with +2 Thors
are coming in, and if they get past those roaches, they're going to annihilate the economy. There's another line of roaches here, though. He's got 20 on the map, but they're spread out to protect different locations. He's having to pull them back from his 3rd. And there we go. He does fend that off. And see, now he's got enough roaches that he's starting to be able to take out some Hellions. But you're right, the upgrades are going to be so important, so strong. 2 siege tanks on the way as well.
Yeah, when Hellions do that much splash damage, the +2 helps them out a lot. Even if it's going up against roaches, it's still so important. And now 2 tanks being made at a time, as you said. Still Hellions being pumped out. He's got 4 Thors out on the field as well. Wow. And this is going to be a really sick timing that Happy can hit. Yeah, sure, DongRaeGu's ahead in supply right now. It's 170 to 145. But Happy, man, he has such a strong unit composition. He can go and, kind of remove these hatcheries from the edges of the map if he just moves with a strong mech force. And Happy, his fear is going to be, okay, does he have enough roaches to really have a nice concave on my Thors and do the extra damage? But I don't know if he's going to have enough just yet.
Yeah.
Zerglings are going to be moot at this point with this many +2 Blue Flame Hellions out.
That is completely the case, yeah.
Even +3 on the way right now.
Oh my goodness. He is really going for those upgrades super early. Here's an Overseer trying to scout what's going on. Sees all those Thors.
Yeah, that was his first glimpse at the Thors as well. Aspire is being made, +2 missile attack. Starts right now for DongRaeGu. He's making another hatchery right now. Just a macro hatchery. He does have the bottom right. He's getting his gases there as well. So DongRaeGu's economy is sick.
Yeah, this is actually pretty amazing how professional these guys are, how amazing these players are, such that during all of this, Happy took a third and DongRaeGu took a fourth during everything. Here comes the attack though. The Zergling's stuck in the back, not able to get in front, but it doesn't matter. They'd be roasted by the Hellions anyways. Coming in with tons of roaches. He's targeting down the Thors, trying to kill them off. The splash damage from the tanks doing so much though.
Man.
And he only gets one Thor.
Only gets one Thor, kills off some of the Hellions, very few though. And now Happy ahead in supply. He's got more tanks on the way. He's even got a Raven on the way. +3 is about halfway done at this point. He's actually, I'm so surprised he's not unsieging and attacking now because he's got a really nice timing. Bro, these drones transfer are going to get caught by Hellions.
And the Banelings are going to say something about that, though. Zerglings are going to trap them, and the Banelings, no, they somehow escape to do yet a little bit more damage, but there's just enough Zerglings. DongRaeGu is such a good economy that he's just got money to spare, so he can actually afford to throw away those Zerglings right now.
You know, interestingly enough, DongRaeGu is starting to produce a decent amount of mutas. He's got 9 mutas on the way right now. He's got +1 flyer attacks on the way, but Happy's got missile turrets everywhere. Remember, he has a lot of Thors out. He's got sensor tower even in his main to spot for mutas coming over the right side.
That's interesting that he decided to go for mutas after he saw the 3 Thors. I guess the thing is, those 3 Thors are all he has.
Right.
He doesn't have any Marines, so if he can kill those 3 Thors, his mutas can kill everything else.
Very true. These Hellions getting trapped here again, but killing a few drones as they do.
Nice.
And in total, only 13 workers killed despite all the Blue Flame Hellion harass.
Yeah, that's actually pretty amazing.
Well, I think there were a lot more than 13 Hellions lost,
yeah,
too.
I think that I'm a little surprised Happy hasn't been trying to do run-bys with those Hellions a little bit more, because he could just, if he sneaks in 3 Hellions, he could just devastate the entire mineral line.
Well, I'm surprised he has allowed DongRaeGu to now have mutas, because now the mutas are going to keep him at home. He's missed his opportunities to move out with a strong ground force and crush DongRaeGu's bases. Now he's going to have to turn back to deal with these mutas. I'm sorry, Hellions and Banshees can't deal with mutas. I don't know why you sent them, but now his Thors are just going to take so long. Look at this, also sending Zerglings into the natural.
And the Zerglings are drawing the Thors back to the front, so the mutas can do even more damage in the main. There's like 6 Thors out now, though, so you can afford to split them up.
Yeah, and remember, guys, these Thors have +3 now.
Oh my god. That is disgusting.
And now it is time for Happy to move out like I was talking about. I think he could have moved out a little bit earlier, but either way, he's decided now is his time. He's got high-sec auto-tracking on his turrets back at home. Getting +1 ship weapons right now as well for his Banshees.
And DongRaeGu continuing to produce some mutalisks. Again, if he can somehow manage to kill off those 6 or 7 Thors, then he can kill off everything else with his mutas. In fact, he may just try and target them down with roaches and follow up with the mutas.
He's going for another run-by, but there are enough Thors here, and Marines in a bunker. I don't know if it's the right choice.
Oh, he clumps up his
God.
mutas! Oh no, he clumps up his mutas, and 2 volleys from 2 Thors with those +3 upgrades annihilates all of his mutalisks. DongRaeGu has no response to this massive attack.
Oh man, he has no response whatsoever. Happy now, max. DongRaeGu at 150 supply plummeting as drones get taken out by Thors here.
Wow.
Yeah, this is looking really bad for DongRaeGu. I don't see him having an answer for this maxed out +3 mech army in the center of the map.
No, there's nothing he can do about it.
The Banshees even about to have upgrades, man.
He's trying to get Hive right now, but he needed Broodlords like 10 minutes ago, not 10 minutes ago, but he needed to get Broodlords before Happy moved out to deal with this. The Mutalisk just didn't cut it, and it's going to be too late. The Hive Tech is just going to be too late. DongRaeGu continuing to fight, though. He's going to try and trade.
He's doing a massive counterattack right now, but Happy has left a very large force at home. Even though he's got his forces split into 2, they're both stronger than this force of DongRaeGu. DongRaeGu going to attack anyways.
Roaches trying to move in here. The Banelings do not land on the Hellions. GG! Coming from DongRaeGu, and Happy has killed the Terran Killer.
He has killed the Terran Killer, well, at least in game 1 here. And you can see a little bit of a smirk there on Happy's face. feeling pretty content with his win. And
yeah.
I think actually, in my opinion, Dual Sight is the best map for mech in this matchup because of the way that the map's architecture is, the way it's easy to defend your natural against run-bys. And it was a smart choice for him to go mech. He got super fast upgrades. He did not do a lot with his Hellions, but he controlled the map with them, and that seemed to be enough.
Yep. So DongRaeGu looking a little bit confused almost there. He's like, what just happened to me, man? That was crazy. Like, he's like, wait a minute, I had a bunch of roaches. That's supposed to counter what he did. How did I lose?
Well, we didn't even get to talk really about the composition of Happy. It was so good. He had the perfect number of Thors and Hellions. He even had some Siege Tanks in there.
Yeah, the Siege
Only
Tanks
a few, but they were...
Siege Tanks were crucial.
They were the Tide Turners in that huge Roach attack. And he even added Banshees in. He was like, well, I'm going to make Ravens and Banshees. He didn't even have to use any of the Raven spells, but they cleaned up Creep. If he wanted to, he could have dropped Point Defense Drones. He actually just had this sick, awesome composition. He even had +1 for his Banshees. I mean, he actually just considered everything, man.
Yeah.
I don't know what else to tell you guys.
And not to mention those upgrades, man. The +3 Thors. I mean, you could tell he was like, you know what? I'm just going to get 3 bases and move out with +3 because he didn't do anything. He prodded with some Hellions, but he never made too much of a commitment. Like he said, you know, he might be able to move out and kill him now, but he said, you know what? I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait till high-sec auto-tracking finishes for my auto turrets on my Ravens just in case, and then I'm going to go kill him.
Yeah, I mean, when you have that high-sec auto-tracking, it means when your opponent tries to do muta run-bys, they're not as effective. He did always leave a good amount of units at home, and that was actually the smartest decision he made. He left half of his units. Once he realized how much of DongRaeGu's army he crushed, he was like, well, I can leave half my army at home because the army I have out is still enough to beat anything he has there, and also my army at home is strong enough to defend against any counterattack, so I don't even need my army to all be together. Even though I'm playing mech, man, I can have 2 mech armies.
Yep. And so... yeah, Happy's going to move on to the winner's match, but we're going to find out who's going to be playing him in that winner's match. Right now, Gumiho is going to be our first Terran player. As you can see there, he's decent against other Terrans. He's a lot better against Zerg, I think.
That's very true.
Protoss,
his losses against Terrans, though, most of those that you see, this is his entire history of the GSL, his losses against Terrans were mostly a long time ago. I've seen this guy play so many TVTs. Of course, I used to be on his team, and I've seen this guy play so many TVTs now, and I think his TVT is some of the sickest out there right now. Bomber, on the other hand, has always shown good matches. Look at that, having an even better win rate with a more pool of games to show as well.
Bomber sporting the new Startail logo.
I like that new jacket. It looks good. I like the colors on it.
Yeah, I do too.
It looks good, man. I like the little, I don't know what you would call those little wristbands, I guess you could say, he's wearing there. I like those, man.
Wrist warmers, maybe? I don't know. Now, Bomber, he's a really interesting story right now because he actually used to be unbeatable. Like, he was just winning everything. He beat MVP 4-2 in the Code finals. He was just on fire. And his Terran versus Terran was top-notch. I mean, like, he beat MVP. He beat MVP.
We did.
In Terran versus Terran. And then there was this series he played against Bjorn. And the first 2 games, he annihilated Bjorn. He made him look like a joke in the first 2 games. It was a best-of-5, and Tastosis were like, I don't know if we even need to watch this 3rd game because Bjorn is so outclassed that Bomber's just going to stomp him again. And Bomber played like a different player. He for the last 3 games, he just played...
He sat on one of his hands in his booth.
Exactly. He's like, you know what? I can do this one-handed. And he just like tried to play mouse only, and he got annihilated in the last 3 games. And that was kind of like the turning point where Bomber, I don't know if he lost his confidence or something, but that's the point where Bomber stopped being undefeatable.
Well, the match point here is the King of Mechanics, Gumiho. Will his tactics be abused for the Terran fighter Startail Bomber? And yeah, I think you're right. At that moment, that was the moment where Bomber started slipping. He's been a little bit inconsistent since then.
Yeah.
I remember watching that game with you, and I was just like, well, what's going on?
Yeah, we're like, what? And then we're like, don't worry, he'll pull it together in Game 4. And he just didn't, man. But anyway, we're going to find out right now if Bomber is back in the game or if Gumiho take him out as well. Here at the GSL Kodak.